Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Wanted to provide an introduction to you of our COVID-19 continuous learning plan. These are certainly unusual, highly unusual times for Iowa schools and across the country. And so, on the verge of us starting our continuous learning plan next week, we felt like it was important to share some updates and information with students and parents as to how this program was going to work. And so, this is intended just to be an informational update on that topic. So Pleasantville's continuous learning plan will consist of a voluntary option starting April 13th in grades preschool through 12th. That's every grade level pre-K through 12. Our plans will be in place right now to start Monday, April 13th and go through April 30th, which is the governor's announced shutdown of schools due to COVID-19. So just some updates informationally, schools do not have to make up the time that choose this voluntary continuous learning option per the governor and the State Department of Ed's guidance. Learning opportunities will supplement learning that has already taken place during the school year and eventually will move into extension of learning. And all continuous learning provided during the COVID-19 shutdown at Pleasantville schools will be voluntary. And what that means exactly is that no grades will be given for new coursework during the shutdown and there'll be no attendance taken. So just to be crystal clear that this is 100% voluntary for students on their end of things. Our staff's been working behind the scenes now for a couple weeks getting ready for this. This is a big shift and transition in the way we do things. And so we wanted to just provide some guidance and recommendation to families and to our staff on what the experts suggest in terms of remote learning. And so what this table showcases is just broken down by grade level, and it shows a minimum and maximum amount of time that they think sustained learning should take place in a given day or in a given class period. So we've tried hard to make our continuous learning plans fit this table and model. And so just trying to provide parents some reassurance that we're designing this with the best intentions in place. Our plan will consist of two different options. Option one is an online option, and option two we're calling our offline option. And so this slide is to walk you through the ins and outs of the online option. Elementary students and parents, you can expect to receive contact with learning materials from your child's teacher once a week. Contact will be made to deliver a number of resources that parents and students are already familiar with. We didn't want to throw anything new out there to elementary parents at this point in time. And so you can expect to see something, whether it's through email or an app such as Class Dojo or Seesaw that many of you are already familiar with. You'll start to see communications and learning materials from your child's teacher through those mechanisms. With our junior high and high school students, parents can also expect to hear from their child's teacher weekly. Most of our junior high and high school teachers will make contact via Google Classroom, and directions for students on how to access their Google Classrooms have been sent to students, and honestly, most are already aware how to log into that program. So it's something they should be fairly familiar with. And if not, just know that our staff is here to make sure that they get up to speed and get logged in and are able to navigate this successfully. Our second option is the offline option. We recognize that some parents and students are unable to connect with the internet during the shutdown due to COVID-19, and so we've committed to providing printed materials for families that need them and students that want them and need them. And just know that we'll start doing that on April 20th and have printed materials and packets available to be picked up on Mondays from 8:30 to 10:30 in the elementary office. And so that'll be kind of in conjunction with the grab and go meals, and the only difference being that the printed materials will be available across the street at the elementary vestibule. In terms of what you can expect from our staff, as I said earlier, they've been working behind the scenes hard for the last couple of weeks. We're pushing hard to make this engaging and educational for kids. We wanted parents and students to know that all teachers will advertise virtual office hours. That's 1 hour a day, 5 hours a week of virtual connectivity. And so students or parents can connect with our staff to talk through questions, concerns, get feedback, etc. Elementary, that's grades preschool through sixth grade. Our instruction will be focused primarily on reading, math, and writing, with enrichment opportunities provided in specialist areas such as computers, art, Title I reading, and phys ed. When you get to the junior high and high school levels, that's grades 7 through 12, specific learning opportunities and instruction will be provided from individual teachers in all course and subject areas. So, as we start to wrap this up here, just some important takeaways as we move into unprecedented territory in Pleasantville and across the state of Iowa and across the country. We think it's important. Do what you can wherever you're at with whatever you got. Try to have students stay engaged in learning routines and opportunities to the extent possible. We know that might vary differently based on circumstances, and that's all right. Junior high and high school students, especially, we feel like it's critical to complete the continuous learning opportunities you'll be provided. We want you to prepare as if we're coming back to school in May. And so keep your nose to the grindstone and keep chipping away at the things you're provided. And parents, we want you to know this: no matter where you're at, what you're able to do during this shutdown, we're going to be great when we come back and reconvene school. So our staff is going to do what we can to bridge this gap for the time being. But whenever we come back to school, we're prepared to get kids caught up and get them where they need to be. We understand there's a lot of questions right now with regard to what this is all going to look like, and so we've created an FAQ document. I would encourage you to take a look at that. It covers topics from grades to continuous learning to how AP courses will work, how DMAC college credit classes will work, and so 3 or 4 pages of really good information there in the FAQ document for those of you that have questions. And specific to continuous learning, if you have questions or things aren't clicking or making sense, we would just encourage you to contact your classroom teacher and then the appropriate school principal. And just know that email is by far the most effective way to stay in touch with our staff during the shutdown. Phones are going to voicemail that aren't able to be monitored from a distance. And so make sure you just note that email is going to be by far the most effective way to communicate with our staff. In closing, I would just remind you kind of hopefully an uplifting message in the midst of a tough time, that we're all in this together. I want to thank parents and students for their patience during this time. I want to thank our staff for charging hard and working hard behind the scenes to get this up and running and try something that nobody's ever been asked to do before. So I would leave you with a message of we can do this together. We're all in this together, and we're going to come out of this thing strong and ready to hit the ground running when we get back to school. So stay safe. We miss all of you. We miss our students, and we can't wait for the day to come to get back together with everybody. But until then, stay strong, stay safe, and stay in touch if there's anything we can do to help from a school perspective. Thanks so much.